I hope they start the grandfathered age of 1971, born 1971, or
Is that
you know,
when,
or
is that when you
earlier.
graduated high school?
Yes, Isaac. That's when I graduated high school. I was a savant. All right.
All thoughts and opinions shared in this recording belong to the participants. This podcast is meant to inform and educate and should not be seen as solicitation or endorsement for business.
Welcome to the Market Moment. This is Matt here with Isaac
Morning.
and John.
Morning.
How you guys doing?
Excellent.
We're good.
Great.
Ready to roll?
Doing great.
All right.
Ready to rock and roll.
So we're going to jump into it. We've got a FAQ, so something that's kind of been trending. We're going to talk through that and a few other bullet points and then end with some rapid fire questions for you guys. So kind of jumping straight into it, one of the trending topics out there that people are looking at and you know searching for is this idea that Social Security could be cut by 20%. You know, you see different numbers out there in the next 5 years, 10 years. Should I claim early? So people are really wondering, hey, if Social Security is not going to be the same as what it is today, if they're going to have to cut it, then should that change the strategy, you know, in terms of how I apply, when I apply, and all of that? So what are y'all's thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think that's a totally fair question. I'm a believer, and again, we all are obviously experts at this, right? We all know what the government's going to do at every turn.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if there's going to be a change to it. We don't know what it is, but like something has to change. I'd be shocked if they didn't put like a grandfather in if you were born after this date. And then that would give you some more kind of runway to figure that out.
Yeah,
because it's a tough question.
Like,
so like,
hey, if you rushed and did it, you got lucky.
Yeah, like, sorry, I know you're 61. We're going to cut what we've been telling you for the past 40 years. Because people make plans on that for their whole lives. And so that would be kind of my hope that would lean towards. So no, don't just start it at 62 just because you hear some stuff. But also, I'm a big fan of starting it when you need it. Yeah. So if you need it at 62, take it at 62. If you don't, we'll talk about it every.
It's all part of planning, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's some good facts for you. So Congress faces, there's a high risk of automatic reductions around 2032-33 if Congress does not act. Okay, so this is out there. And they're suggesting potential 7 to 24% reduction. Okay, well, a couple things I'll say on this. I mean, this is just probably not where we want to go here, but our drunk sailors in Washington, D.C. spend money left and right on the dumbest of things, right? The Congress that allows this to happen, that party in power will lose power and lose power big time. And this is my point. Like, we've been putting money in for so long. You talk about a revolution. People have been putting money in for their entire lives into FICA for the purpose of getting the Social Security benefit at some point promised to them. Our idiots are spending money on the dumbest of things. And if you look at the list of things we spend money on in our government, it's ridiculous. To have this be cut would be catastrophic to the party that's in power that lets it happen. And my point to that, I've been in this for a long time, and there's always the fear Social Security is going to fall apart. And I've heard this many times in my long time of doing this. I think like 2032, 33, number one, it probably will be kicked down the can. The can will be kicked down the road a little bit. I'd say when we get to that point, it's going to be like, 2040, it's going to run out. And when you get to 2040, it's going to be 2050, it's going to run out because they're going to find ways. Because, again, the number one thing they care about in Washington, D.C. is getting reelected. So, again, I don't think they're going to let this happen. We went to a conference Eli and I did a couple years ago, and somebody came up and was talking about this fear of Social Security running out and what the government can do to fix the problem. And he had like a pretty nice little presentation of the little things they could do to extend Social Security as it is today, continue it on for 100 plus years. Yeah. And they were minor things.
It's not as drastic as you would think.
No,
like
it's not.
Changes that they would have to make. Now, I'm not saying it wouldn't be impactful.
Right.
And impact
to
people,
something else. Yeah.
So I don't want to belittle it, but it's not as crazy as you would think it would be.
No.
To really kind of shore it up.
To fix it, yeah.
But I agree with you. I mean, they can do whatever they think. I mean, they can get away with a lot, unfortunately, which is not a good thing. But I think it will be some kind of birth year age, after this. If you were born after this year, then you'll start to be impacted if they have to make certain cuts. If you were born prior to this year, you're not going to be impacted in the same way. And so if that's true, then trying to run out and do something real quick is not going to really change anything.
Yeah.
Right. And so you want to make sure you're still just being prudent, making the best decision for yourself. But I am a big believer, this whole idea of like everyone should wait till 70. Wait till 70.
Right.
Wait. It's
right.
like, I feel like if you get on the internet and you start looking, it's like, wait as long as possible.
Yeah.
And that's just not not true.
So many variables.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that need to file at full retirement age, or maybe even a little sooner, depending on when you retire and your total
and your
situation.
health and all that
Yeah.
stuff is
Yeah.
a consideration.
Yeah.
'Cause there's a break-even point at some point there. In other words, if you live to 90, you should have waited if you
Yeah.
knew that up front. but
I'm
you don't
actually
know that.
calling a client literally in an hour and 15 minutes to tell him he should go ahead and file for Social Security.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting. Now
Yeah.
he's at full retirement age,
Right.
but instead of like continuing
Yeah.
to wait, so it's a good
These are
topic
good
for a lot.
questions, but
Yeah.
we have different answers for every client, right?
I mean, it is a very subjective question because, like you said, like health plays into it a ton.
Yeah.
Because the break-even point on most of the ones I look at is if you're going to live past 79,
Yeah.
right, then start it at 70. But there's a lot of people that come in, they're like, I don't know.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
I
we
know-
and we definitely
A lot
Yeah.
of people, I would say, I don't know what the age is, but I would say maybe 40 and younger that just don't expect Social Security to be there.
100%.
sure.
And so when like we're having planning conversations, it's like, let's just assume it's not. If it is, like then great,
gravy.
like we're gonna be in a really good spot.
Yep.
But let's just assume it's not there. I know that's kind of where I'm at. Like,
It's
I
a
don't
shame
expect
because
it
you
to
guys
be-
are, the company's matching. We put in 7.5% of our pay into FICA. The company puts in 7.5%. 15% goes to that bucket that's supposed to support us later. And it's a shame to think that 40 and unders think it's not going to be there because they are you. I'm saying you guys because you're under
and
40,
it's not
but
so
you're
much
putting
that I think it
15%
won't be.
in.
I think it's just
No, I know.
with
yeah.
the time to plan for worst case.
Yeah.
I think it's prudent and wise to maybe plan as
to
if
just
it
have
were.
that out. I
And
don't
so-
disagree.
But
as far as-
if I'm being realistic, like I do think something will be there. It may look very different, but I don't know.
Hey, I hope they start the grandfathered age of 1971, born 1971, or
Is that,
you know,
when,
or
is that when you
earlier.
graduated high school?
Yes, Isaac. That's when I graduated high school. I was a savant. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell that word, so,
So
I
a lot-
shouldn't say it.
Anyways, a lot of things to take into consideration, a lot of planning considerations. But our advice, it sounds like collectively we agree on. Hey, don't rush out and just say
Yeah.
I'm going to file as early as possible because I'm afraid certain things are going to change.
Yeah,
sure.
Probably not the best decision.
exactly.
Okay, a few quicker questions we want to kind of hammer through. John, are U.S. valuations stretched just generally, and then compared to international opportunities, kind of where we at? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so if you go back to 2025, this is a pretty cool stat here. International markets returned roughly double that of the S&P 500.
Since when?
No, this is just in 2025.
25.
Okay.
Okay, it's just in 2025. But that was the first time international markets had outperformed in over a decade.
Been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, right? Well, 2026, we've had this rough start because of the oil crisis, Strait of Hormuz, Iran. That has put a little kink in the armor of the international markets because we, United States, energy independent, we're still going to get affected by it, of course, as the CPI numbers suggest. But Europe and Asia are affected even far worse, right? 20% of the world's oil comes out of the Strait of Hormuz and it all goes somewhere else, not to us. So the rest of the world is suffering right now because of this immediate impact. But prior to the Iran war, there was a momentum of international stocks starting to come back. And that is largely due to the fact that, yes, U.S. stocks are considered overvalued, stretched versus international stocks. A lot of reasons for that. Again, we're having a little bit of a pause right now, but I think that is going to be something that's brought back up once this Iran thing is put to bed and inflation concerns are put to bed a little bit. I think you'll start to see that momentum again in the international stocks. But so U.S. stocks overvalued, yes. Can they stay? We've talked about this on the show ad nauseum. Yes, they can stay overvalued for a long period of time. Earnings can catch up to the valuation. Everything can work out like wonderful, or it may not. But they are overvalued on paper, right? And international stocks are not.
Some
And
of the
there's tons of
recent-
reasons for that.
Internationally, especially Europe, because Europe, it's like sleepy Europe,
Yeah.
It's like sleepy Joe Biden, it's like Europe's over there just kind of like,
There's
there's been no innovation come out of Europe for decades. Right. They have generally like high taxes. And so they're just not a super, and I'm not saying they're bad countries. They're just not super business friendly, investment friendly. Their markets haven't
higher taxes,
haven't
everything.
done a whole lot. So just from an investment business perspective, it's like kind of asleep at the wheel for a while. And I think some of the shocks over the last 5 or 6 years, we are going, if Europe, which not every country is the same over there. So I don't want to overgeneralize, but it's an opportunity for them to wake up, right? You have COVID, right? So this transition from globalization to, okay, no, we have to kind of do some of this on our own.
Yeah.
Like we have to take care of ourselves. We have the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Like we might need to spend what we should be spending on defense.
We
have the Strait of Hormuz and the Iran, the oil crisis. It's like, well, maybe we don't want to be dependent on
bad characters.
On the devil running Iran and trying to get our oil from them.
Yes.
And it's like some of these wake-up calls, and I look at that, I'm like, hopefully this can be a good thing over the long term for some of these countries and their markets to wake up and say like, hey, we need to innovate, we need to invest, we need to create businesses that because they've just kind of piggybacked on everyone else. And I'm not saying that as a slam to them, but like you look at internationally, it's like the American markets, the U.S. markets have just led for so long. All of the new innovation has come out of either the U.S. or China.
China's using the new innovations, just a copy of ours.
Well, and it's like people have just been okay with, hey, we'll just kind of hitch our wagon and go along for the ride. And when things start to get volatile or there's some risks,
I think you're starting to
see that that's not always a good thing.
No, and I think you're starting to see some changes. UK had a massive election issue in the more capitalist way a couple days ago, and it's a big deal.
Well, and the reason I say all of that was to say I hope that wakes up and opens up some more international opportunities to invest over the next decade or two, where it's not just like the U.S. and everyone else. Because I would love to be able to say, hey, there's a ton of opportunities in Europe and Southeast Asia and places around the world to invest. You've seen some of that in India. More business friendly.
I was going to say it might be cherry picked
a little bit, and so it's like there's been a lot of good things coming out of India for a while. So
it may not be just Europe anymore. It may be specific, like say UK figures it out first, right? And then so it might not be all of Europe that gets it at one time. It's going to be. It may be a domino effect. Before Trump had the corporate tax cuts, remember back years ago when we were, and this is not that long ago, less than 10 years ago, when we had one of the highest corporate tax rates in the world. And countries like Ireland had a very favorable corporate tax rate. And so we had some corporations that were in Ireland, they're U.S. based. When Trump made the big decision, lowered the corporate tax rates, a lot of that left. So the advantage of doing business in Ireland, for example, went away or is equaled by the U.S. tax rates coming down. The rest of Europe was higher taxed. But so we've kind of taken some of the steam out of some of the stuff that they had to offer before, and now they've got to find different ways, innovation, more capitalist, less reliant on Russia and Iran. And again, I think they are waking up. I'm hoping they are.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree with everything you
guys
said. That's okay.
We took all the oxygen out of the room on that one. Okay, 2 quick questions. We will keep these short. So how much cash should someone, and these are just kind of general questions that people have been looking at. How much cash should I hold specifically for like maybe a retiree?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's different from, it's like a pre-retiree, you have 3 to 6 months emergency fund. And then when you do get retired, it more so kind of comes down to your income plan in general. If your income plan is to have 6 months to a year of a cash investment that you're drawing off of, great. If it's to purchase some form of annuity that pays you out, you may need less cash because you have income coming in from pensions or Social Security, as we just talked about. So a little bit depends. But again, it kind of comes down to what you're comfortable with risk-wise and what your income plan can handle.
Where it's coming from. Right. I mean, if you're if you should have 3 to 6 months while you're working and someone else is paying you, then it makes sense. Like you should probably have more when you're paying yourself. You know,
Exactly.
Like so, it should probably be more than what you've been maybe used to having while you've been working and having an income. But it is personal. I mean, I've always told clients like, hey, if having 2 years of cash makes you feel better and sleep better at night versus one, like I'm not going to sit here and try to argue with you to invest the 1 years of cash. It's like that may be worth it for you.
I have clients in their 70s that will call me if they've got, and they're worth millions of dollars, if they've got 5,000 not working.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be all
people.
working. So I think it's a personal
100%.
thing. And if you're used to market volatility and it's all about also, do you have enough to,
I would say it's very
survive?
prudent. It is very personal, but I would say it is prudent and wise to have a year's worth of cash or cash-like investments that you can get to.
Yeah.
That may not be impacted in a huge way if the markets. That doesn't mean it has to actually be cash, but something safer that's liquid that you can get to probably should have at least a year's worth of income.
Totally agree.
In some kind of bucket like
Yeah.
that. Okay. Yeah. And then people's looking at and searching for securities-based lines of credit, right? And is that better to tap into an emergency cash situation? So as securities-based line of credit, it's just putting up your securities as collateral, and you're borrowing against it. You can't do it with IRAs, 401ks, but you can do it with non-qualified accounts. If you have a joint account, individual account, trust account, business account, you could put up the assets in that and borrow against it, just kind of like a home equity line of credit. And there are some opportunities to utilize that, and it can make a ton of sense. I would say not for emergency cash.
Agreed.
But strategically, if you're making other investments or there's an opportunity that presents itself, it can absolutely be a good thing. What are your thoughts on using it for kind of emergency cash? Or
I wouldn't use it for emergency cash necessarily, right? But I mean, it is an option, and I mean, there are people out there that have no other choice but to use equity. So you think about home equity loans, right? Equity in home. So equity in your stocks. You don't want to sell them. They've got a cost-based issue, a tax issue, whatever, and you want to use them as collateral. I can understand that. And you have I have somebody right now, we're setting that up, and they're building a house, and they're using it as, they're trying to pay for themselves, but it's like a
bridge loan.
Yeah. And I totally get that.
Sure.
I think that's smart. Again, situation specific.
Yeah.
The way interest rates are right now, the way the markets are right now, I think it's probably more prevalent now when we have all these high cost based stuff and people don't want to get out of the merry-go-round because it's doing so well, and so they don't want to sell stuff. They want to use a collateral. I kind of understand that. So think about the alternative. You're going to have to sell $100,000 worth of stock to go put it into this project you're doing, or you use a line of credit using that as collateral, and you don't have to sell.
Yeah.
And then you try to pay it back otherwise. So I get it. Again, it's situation specific.
Yeah. No, I would say like if it's something that you're using regularly, as like you're always kind of operating in a deficit, well then there's a deeper issue than just using that for an emergency fund, right? Like, your transmission goes out, your HVAC goes out, maybe your investments aren't as liquid, right? So like I love the scenario of, hey, I've got some cash coming in 6 months to a year from now. I don't want to get out of the market.
Yeah.
Right? That's a perfect scenario where it's like, cool, you'll pay it back in the future. If it's, hey, every 2 months I'm taking a vacation and I'm having to tap into this, it's like, okay, well, that's a totally different scenario than what we're describing. So, as long as it's not like a day-to-day spending line of credit, if it's something you're using because you can pay it back, then all for it.
Yep.
Sweet.
I kind of agree.
Okay. Hey, so we're going to try to start doing this weekly. Full disclosure, I didn't prepare well enough to have a full 10 list of questions. So, but I've got a handful, so we're going to kind of do rapid fire. This is supposed to be yes or no. So if it's not yes or no, keep it very, very short, but try to keep it yes or no. So I'm tossing these out rapid fire. Both of you have to answer.
This is going to be great.
Yeah. So, all right.
Egypt.
This one is an easy one. This one's an easy one, but it is kind of putting you on the spot. Do you actually track your monthly expenses?
Yeah.
Someone in my house does.
I look at what I spent.
Someone does.
You both need a new advisor. Okay. Have you ever bought cryptocurrency?
Yes.
No. Don't even know how.
Would you lend money to a friend?
No, but I would give money to a friend.
How much do you need?
Okay. And then last one, do you have any like nice notable sports memorabilia that you own?
A ton.
Do you?
I got a bunch of sports cards.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I think not.
Anyone that stands out like off the top of your head?
Yeah,
Or-
I've got like a rookie Matthew Stafford card. Joe Burrow rookie card.
Oh,
Okay.
So
Yeah.
collecting some of those
future
guys.
Hall of Famers.
I'm an Eagles fan, so I've got some Eagles. Like I've got a Jalen Hurts
Do you have any
autograph
like
rookie card.
old?
I found a bunch of 1990 ones at my parents' house this weekend. So I've got.
That's not old.
I've got sorry. Well,
That's relative. I
like
guess.
I've got like.
I was thinking like 60s.
No, I don't have any
50s,
of those.
60s. Okay.
I have like a Jerry Rice second year in the league card, stuff like that. Like
That's-
Steve Young.
Now signed by these guys or just
No,
cards?
absolutely not.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
they're
signed.
probably worth like $10 or $20. a piece. Like it's nothing crazy, but
I have a
if
Drew
get them
Brees
signed,
signed
way.
nice little thing that I gave to my son.
Yeah.
So I
Nice.
don't have anything.
Okay. Well, thanks for playing along.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Are you going to answer those?
Well, I know who I need to ask if I ever need money. I know you both need to do a better job tracking your monthly expenses.
Yeah. Sorry, true.
And if Bitcoin goes up 100x, then you're screwed and you're going to be super rich.
How do I get it?
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, we appreciate you guys watching and listening. Give us a like, subscribe, shoot us a question. We did get a comment on the last episode that we will address here in an upcoming episode, so we appreciate that. But appreciate you guys, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
The hosts of the Market Moment podcast are employees of Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC. Mach 1 is a registered investment advisor located in Rogers, Arkansas. A copy of Mach 1's current written disclosure brochure is available through the SEC website and available at disclosures.mach1fg.com.